Good morning, stamping friends. I hope you guys are all doing well. We are doing great here in Arizona, and we are done with our company that's been at our place for a month and a half. That's a long time, but we sure had fun. So now it's kind of getting back to normal here, and I'm really excited because today we are going to share with you project number 3 in our 6 weeks of birthdays. Now, this project was designed by Joey Hartman. She's my partner in crime, and we collaborated to do the 6 weeks of birthdays. So you're going to love this card. There's a little surprise on the inside, so make sure you hang with me till the end because it's a really fun project. So let's get started on the project today, and I will turn my camera around and we will get started. The stamp set we're going to use for this week, actually for the next 2 weeks, is called Taco Fiesta. And I've already done quite a few projects using this. In fact, this stamp set was used in my online card club for February. So in case you missed my blog or my YouTube, you'll have to go back because you can find 4 more projects using this set. So this set, unfortunately, does not have dies, but the images are pretty small, and so it's pretty fast and easy to fussy cut these. In case you don't know what fussy cut is, that's just when you cut it by hand. This project has a lot of little pieces to it, but that just goes along with this stamp set because there are so many fun pieces to this. All right, we are going to start with a piece of basic white cardstock. This is cut to 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. And let me get my bone folder, just fold on that crease. And it's really helpful to have a bone folder. It makes a nice crisp edge there. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is take a piece of designer series paper, and you'll see in our 6 weeks of birthdays that we're using the paper pack called Brights, and it's just really a nice bright color pack to work with. And this is the Granny Apple Green, and I put the dimensions here, 5 1/4 by 4, and then use your Stampin' Seal or your multi-purpose liquid glue. And we are just going to center this on the front of our card like this. All right, now the next layer we're going to use is we're going to cut 2 things. This was 5 1/4 by 1 inch. And what I did was I die cut this using our Scallop Contours die and just kind of centered it as best that you can. And then this piece is 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. And this is just the Daffodil Delight polka dot paper from the same paper pack. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to adhere this to the back of that. And I think for this one, I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue because I just want a very fine line along here like that. And I'm also going to grab my silicone mat because I do not want to get any on my background here. So just put this on, leave a little bit of an edge here and just kind of center that. And if you see a little bit, whoopsie, sometimes it moves on you, which is one of the benefits of multi-purpose liquid glue, but sometimes you don't want it to move. All right, so let's just let that soak in for a little bit. But what I was going to say is sometimes you can see a little bit of the edge that's over it. Sometimes it's hard to cut exact, so just trim that off if it goes over a little bit. All right. You know, we make each other's projects, so it's interesting to do this because usually I'm the one teaching a class. You know, I do classes in my home and online classes, but when it's my turn to try to, you know, figure out how she made a card, I can relate to everyone else that goes to classes because I go, how did she do this here? And was this how she did it? And how did she do that center part? So it just kind of humbles you because everybody makes mistakes and has questions. So it kind of, you know, puts me in that frame of mind like, okay, it's okay to answer or ask questions and to be lost. And it's just kind of funny. All right, let's add some glue to the back of this one. And we're just going to kind of hike it over to the left a little bit here. Like that. All right, whoops, let's go down a little bit. There we go. This is kind of our base for the card front. The next thing we want to do is we are going to take 2 strips of glimmer paper. This is the in color glimmer paper. This is actually Sweet Sorbet. And this is 3/8 of an inch by 5 inch. And this one is Parakeet Party. And this one is 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And what we're going to do with this is trim down each end and have them go parallel. So just snip them like this. I love this glimmer paper, by the way. I love it because it's ombre. I'm an ombre fan. And we are going to do the same thing with the Sweet Sorbet. Go the same direction like this. All right, and this is going to give the front of our card just a little bling. You know what? I'm going to trim this down a little bit more. I think Joey did that as well. Maybe about like that. And let's see, we'll go, that's better. Go like this. So let's add a little bit of adhesive. Let me see. I'll kind of make them crisscross like this. Like that. And then I am going to just place, because this circle is going to go on top of this, about like this. So, okay, that's about right. So let's adhere this. And then we'll do the same thing with this crisscross. Have you guys used this paper yet? Oh, I know, I'm really hoping this carries over in the new catalog, which the new catalogs are going to be coming out. We as demonstrators get to see it March 29th. I can hardly stand it. New in colors, and they're going to do a color refresh as well. Some of our old colors are going to go away and some past ones are going to come back. So be sure and stay tuned. All right, now the next thing we are going to do is we are going to add this little circle here, and we need dimensionals on the back for a little pop. Which colors are you ready to kiss goodbye? The one I don't use as much is Mango Melody. However, with this taco set, I have been using it more, so it'll be interesting to see if that one holds on. A lot of people have said they're done with Blushing Bride. I still like that one, so it'll be just fun to see. And the ones that are coming back for sure are Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon that's coming back. All right, the next thing we're going to do is add our Holy Guacamole to this. And so I'm going to put this right about, you know what, actually this needs to go down a little bit farther. If you lift it up before the dimensionals are on, and you know what, she put this underneath it. So what we're going to do is just take matters into our own hands, and we're going to trim this off. How's that for a little cheat? This is what I mean about when you do someone else's tutorial. It's so different when you're designing it yourself. So we're going to go right about here, and then we're going to put Holy Guacamole on dimensionals here, like this. And we will rest that right along the edge that we made. Okay, so we have a little bit of a white background here. Now we're going to start stamping the images that go on the front of the card. So just grab basic white cardstock and some black Memento ink. The first thing we're going to need is 3 tacos. I already did 2. I colored them and inked them, and I'll show you how I did that. Whoops, this one didn't dry all the way. I kind of smudged his mustache. But I'll stamp one of them so that you can see how I use my blending brushes. So I might have needed a little bit larger basic white. I'm not sure if all these are going to fit on here. So we want the taco. We want the little avocado. And we want the bowl of guacamole. And this is all done in Memento Black because that's the black we use when we use blends. And then I'm also going to stamp the little Mexican hat here. And I think that's it. We are going to add faces, but I want to color these in before we do that. Actually, this piece would have been large enough. So in case you want to know how big of a scrap you should cut, I would recommend 4 inches by 2.5. All right, the blends we're going to use are Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, and Poppy Parade. All right, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for blending. I like to start with the lightest color, and for larger items, I use the kind of the paintbrush end. And I'll just show you the blending for this one, and then I will go a little bit faster through this so the video doesn't take too long. All right, here are all the pieces fussy cut, and we are going to add, bring my black ink back again. We are going to add the faces, and let's see, we want the little mustache on the taco. Remember the lettuce and tomatoes are up. There's so many times I accidentally do it that way, upside down. Let me move this in the middle here. All right, and because that's solid, we do need that to set aside to dry a little bit. Then the next one we're going to do is the little avocado, and he's going to be doing the Mr. Bill sign. Do you guys remember Mr. Bill on Saturday Night Live? The little clay guy whose mouth was always open like that. And then we're going to do the bowl, the guacamole bowl, with one more little smiley face here. Like that. Okay. Now the next part we're going to do is we're going to set these aside, and we are going to work on the little sentiment that's going to go on here now. What you'll want to do is take about a 3.5 inch by 3/4 inch piece of basic black cardstock, and then grab your Versamark ink pad and the sentiment that says "Holy Guacamole, it's your birthday," and we're just going to ink this up. Then I'm going to sprinkle white embossing powder, and I'm going to heat set it, and I'm going to do that off camera just so I can speed it up a little bit. But just try to center this, and then I will be right back after I get this embossed. Now we are going to place all these cute little pieces that we did, and we're going to use dimensionals again on here. So first we'll put our little taco guy on here. Just like he's kind of resting on there. And then we'll do, on the other side, we'll do our bowl of guacamole. And we're going to put the avocado in the middle, but I just want to make sure it's not too far over the edge here. There we go. And then this one, it's okay if it overlaps a little bit too. And the last thing we want to do is put, there we go, cute, cute, cute. We're going to put the little hat on him, and I'm not going to put a dimensional in. Well, I'm just going to glue him on. You don't have to get that technical. I'm not sure if Joey used a dimensional on that one or not. So let's put him right there. Cute, cute, cute. All right, we just need to let that set a little bit. And while it's drying, I'm going to put our little classic matte dots, which we are also promoting in our 6 weeks of birthdays. And these are really nice because the cream and white ones, you can color any color you want. And we're going to use the black one. So let's put, I always like to work in threes, so we will put one about right here, and then let's do a smaller one right about here, and then one on top, like that. Okay, now for the surprise on the inside. So we're going to set this aside, and we're going to work on the inside now. Now, I don't even know what the name of this is. It might be like a pop-up or a pop-up surprise, but what I did was, this is I need my rulers because I can't remember. I think it's 8 inches by 5 1/4. That's right. And then I scored on the 8-inch side at 4 inches. So again, just fold in half and then take your bone folder, and this is what's going to make the little pop-up. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the corner. Let me see if I got this right. I did a little practice one here so I didn't screw up. So I'm going to put the fold on the right side. Then I'm going to take this piece, and it doesn't really matter how big you make this. I'll tell you how far down I went after I do it, but it really doesn't matter. What you want to do is make this perpendicular so it goes like this, like a right angle there. So just try your best. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then be sure to use your bone folder like this. All right, make it really nice and crisp. And just for kicks, I will tell you about how far down this is. This is about 1 inch. Wow. All right, now what I found easiest is to open the card and refold the bottom part just the opposite way. And we'll keep this one where it's at. So we want this one to go in and this one to go out like this. Okay, so it looks like this. Let me show you again what it looks like. Can you see that? It goes like that. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the 2 tacos on this little pop-up piece. So let's take one that's already done, and we are just gonna kind of hand fold it. This one had a little smudge on it, so I'm gonna put that one for the back one, but just try to fold it in half, like right on that mustache line. And it's not gonna line up perfectly because they're not symmetrical, but just try to get it kind of in the middle of his mustache like that. All right. Now we are gonna glue this on the little pop-up here, okay? So we're gonna glue it towards the top, but we're only gonna put glue on the bottom edge of this taco. Like this. You have to make sure this adheres a little bit before we move forward because we don't want it to move around. And what you want this to do is actually try to go as low as you can without it hitting those other fold lines like that. All right, so now let's fold it in half so it goes like this. All right. Okay. Now, do you see that? How it's going to pop up like that? Isn't that cool? Oh, I love it. All right, now we are going to just make it so it doesn't look ugly on this side. So we're going to fold it again in half. And then we are going to put glue on the whole thing on the back side like this. And again, it is not going to match exactly because it's the opposite way and it's not symmetrical. So, but when you fold it, it's going to be, let's see, like that. So let's just hold it like that and make sure your edges are straight. Oopsie. All right, now we just want to make sure that adheres before we put it on the inside of the card. Now, look what this looks like. Isn't that cute? And then the outside or the back side is like that. All right, now when we put it on the inside, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the left side and we're going to adhere this down like this and try to line up the folds. So kind of push it to the back of the fold on the left side. So let's start, or I mean the right side, my other left. So put glue on the right side. Place it in here, and again, push it towards the left so that it butts up to that side, and then glue it down. Let it, let it catch where it just needs to by folding it like that. All right, now let's do the other side and just add glue on this side. And we're just gonna let it fall where it may. I might open it just to make sure it's kind of straight. Yep, it is. Okay, now just let it dry. Isn't this a cute card? We are just missing one little part on the front now as soon as this dries. The last thing we're going to add on the front of the card is just a bow. So take your black and white gingham ribbon and just tie a little bow. And then snip down the edges so they're equal. Whoops, get a little bit more angled here. All right, and then we'll just grab a little glue dot. And you know what? I'm going to put it a little bit off here so you can read the birthday sentiment like that. There we go. All right, there we have it. Now, I guess there is one more little part. We need to add something to the center. So we're going to grab one more sentiment, and we are going to use the Spectacular sentiment, and we'll just use this with basic black. It's even easier if you stamp it before you glue it all together, but I forgot about the inside. And then we're going to take Poppy Parade, which is the red we've been using, and we're going to add a little bit of the candy just to add a little bit more decoration to the inside, like that, and there you have it. So here's the outside again and the inside. Cute. All right. Nice job, Joey. Thank you for designing that. Now, if you see any products that you enjoyed and might not have in your stash, I would love it if you ordered from my Stampin' Up! Website, and I'll put the link there. And if you could please use the host code. If you use the host code and your order is over $50, I will send you a Stampin' Up! Product in the mail as my way of saying thank you, along with a thank you card. Also, everyone who is on my newsletter list will receive the PDF for this cute little project. So if you're not on my newsletter list, please click on the link in the comments area and I will make sure that you get this PDF. Thank you, everyone.